Hi, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts, and welcome back to part 2 of my annual catalogue launch. So earlier I shared with you a brief run through the catalogue and one of the make and takes that people who came this morning made. So this morning there were 2 make and takes. So the first one that I shared already was this one with the cute little bird. So it's the bird song. And then the second one that everybody got to make was the teacup. So this is the actual finished card. And as I said earlier, I wasn't going to go through everything in detail in the catalogue. But the Tea Boutique stamp bundle collection is what I used for designing this particular card. So we've used the stamps, the dies, some other additional dies, and the paper and cardstock. So everything was been done in the new in colour cardstock. So this is Tahitian Tide, and then the other card was the Sweet Sorbet. I'm still having to try to remember the names. It's awful. I keep forgetting. So anyway, so this is the second card that I'm going to share with you. So I'll just briefly show the stamp set. So this is the stamp set that comes in the bundle. So you have various teacups. You can have all sorts of things growing out of them if you want to. At the same time, you can have some slices of lemon, tea bag, which is a great size to put sentiments on. And they call it a 2-step stamping. So basically you stamp and then you can add to it. So similarly that this you add. This one, there's a die for it, I should say. Yes, there is that little tag. And these are the stamps. So this is the full size. And then these are the dies. So this solid piece here, well, it doesn't look solid, but when you cut it out, it cuts the solid piece. So this would be what you would use to cut out these cups. And then this piece is an additional piece that you can then put on top, and I'll show you in a second. And then all these other dies then coordinate with various stamps in the set there. I also used, and these are going to be my new go-to dies. I think these are going to be great for all sorts of reasons and for all sorts of things. They're called stylish shape dies. I hope you can see them. I just need to quickly see and make sure that this has actually gone live. It says live, but you never know with these things until you actually check. Right, seems to be. So they are, I would say that they're stitched, but they're not. They're more like little dots. So if I show you on the actual card, hopefully you can see. So they're like little dots, indents on the shape. So we have circles, squares, and then we also have some banners. So these nest, and then these two and these two nest. You could, I suppose, put that one on top of that one, but it's not that much thinner. It's just shorter. So these are going to, as I said, are going to be my new go-to because I think they're great. So I used those for die cutting the circle, and then of course have to use the paper. Now I thought I had a whole pack, and I know I do somewhere. But it's 6 by 6, so if you order it and you think you're getting 12 by 12, it's not. It's 6 by 6 as here, and you get. Let's see now the paper. What other page is it on? It'll be 134. So the paper itself, you get 40, because it's a 6 by 6, you get 48 sheets, and there are 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. Now, these are just some of them. So we have one, so lots of teapots. I'll take this off now. So we have teapots, We have lemons, we have flowers, we have other teapots. That one I cut that way. We have some of these I don't know actually. Some have already started cutting them up for card fronts, and others I haven't. And find the rest of them. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh dear, got myself into a pickle. And then we've got that one. Got that one. Oh, here we go. 8, 9, 10. Sometimes it's easier to go by the backs. Sounds silly, I know. No, that's different to that. 11. And what have I not got? That one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it must be that one. 12. So those are the 12 sheets. So we've got things varying from like teapots, teacups. So we've got teapots and teacups. So there's 6, 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. So we've got these ones which have got polka dots on the back. Those are like little crosses. And again, a random pattern. Little flowers. This one's got like a check design. And then we've also got, so we've got lemons, which have got little flowers. We've got envelopes so that you can send good wishes or whatever. That's sort of a checked, I like that one with flowers. So we have some large flowers and a check background and some smaller flowers, and again. And then we've, and more flowers. So we've got quite a few flowers, and that's stripes. And then these two, which I did start thinking that they were the same, but they're not. So these will look more like plants and twigs in the ground. And you've got stripes on the back of that one. And then this one is a slightly smaller pattern, but there's more on it. And that's sort of dots on the back. So that's all the paper. So as I said, it's 6 by 6 rather than 12 by 12. But you do get 48 sheets rather than the 12. So, I mean, 12 fours are 48, if my maths is correct. So we have that. So I'm going to put that to one side. I've got bits here. Right, so one card. And I now need to just get the kit. So this is the kit that everybody had. So we have some Tahitian Tide cardstock. We have a piece of the basic white. So this is very much like the kits that I put together for the card in a cuppa. So we have a strip to go on the inside. Now, not everybody got the same paper because we made up quite a few kits. So long as it had teacups in, it had some of the colours from the paper and the cardstock, then I wasn't too worried about it. So they had a piece of paper that goes straight across, so that's 10.5. And I'll put all these measurements and things up on the on Facebook later. We have a piece of the Parakeet Party. Now, this is just a straight rectangle, and simply to create the tag, you just need to snip off the corners. We have a circle for stamping on, and then we have these cute little cups. So this is what I was saying about that die cutting out a solid shape. So these are some of the in colour papers. So we have, just get rid of all these bits from here. So we're going to put the Tahitian Tide on that one. This is Starry Sky. Again, poke these out. So this is that more intricate die that I was saying that you just die cut and stick it on top of. And it comes out really easily, so it's not a problem at all. In fact, I was going to just use a pokey tool, be quicker. The thing is, it does make a bit of a mess, of course, because you end up with lots of little bits all over the place. So you just have to be careful. As well as wearing the dimensional backings, the dog sometimes wears these as well. Depends what he decides if he comes down here and he wants to roll on things. But sometimes I'm not too neat and tidy. I'm sure we all have those days. So that one's going to go on there, and then this one is going to go on the sweet strawberry. So when it comes to gluing these, you just need to be a little bit careful, because obviously you've only got a small amount to actually put your glue on. Now, we do have adhesive sheets, so if you're making these yourselves, I would suggest that you get some adhesive sheets, because you can then just simply put a piece behind the cardstock, die cut it out, and then lo and behold, you already have it's sticky on the back, so you haven't got to worry about putting any glue on. But these, we didn't get to do that because I didn't have that much on the sheets left. So anyway, so I'm just going to sort of strategically place my glue and be careful not to go too mad, because obviously I don't really need it to be squidging out and making a mess. Little dots is probably a good idea. And then it's just a question of marrying up the two shapes. Using the glue is good actually, because although it's a pain to actually have to put all the glue on, it does mean if you don't actually have it lined up straight off, you can just simply move it around a little bit until it does line up. Obviously, if you do use an adhesive sheet, it's like you've got one chance of matching it up. But I guess at the end of the day, if you've got a little bit sticking out, so long as it's all the holes and things are filled in with paper, if you've got a little bit sticking out, you can just simply trim it. But you don't really want to have to be able to have to move it around too much. So I'm just going to glue that one like so. And then the last one. And they're not huge pieces or heavy pieces, so really just little dots of glue should be enough. I just noticed that piece hasn't come off, but there's a couple of pieces. Oh, there we go. One's off anyway. That's it. So this is a quick card to put together. Got a little bit sticking out, hey. Right, okay, so we're done with that. Make sure this is well and truly flat. Take that out for the moment, don't need that in there. So we're going to glue, as I said, the paper across. Now, if you don't want to use the teacups, you could, of course, change it over. I think I'm going to stick with the teacups, though, because that's how it was originally designed. But as I said, it's up to you really. At the end of the day, it will be your card that you're making, and it wants to be on like the bottom 2/3. Well, simply because when you put your teacups on, you don't want them hanging over the top. Now the Parakeet Party piece, as I said, you can, or if instead of actually making a tag, you could leave it square. I am going to cut off the corners, so I'm just going to cut one off. Now I'm never very good at actually making my corners even, so what I've done, so I cut that off. If you turn it over and then put it on the other corner like so and line it up, you should then have a perfect match, provided you manage to line it up correctly and it doesn't move. So I'm going to then just cut across again. And there we go. I've got, it's equal both sides. So I'm going to glue that on. So I'm going to put that on here. It doesn't need to go right across. You can if you want to. I'm just going to put mine there. Then we need to stamp the sentiment onto here. So I'm going to use the thank you from the stamp set. So there's the thank you. You could use the let's get together soon. If actually I might do that just so that it's something different from the other. Take that one. No, I'm actually going to get a smaller block. Oops, sorry, putting my arm in the way there. Just take off the other stamp from earlier. Put that on. And get my Tahitian Tide ink. So for those of you who are not familiar with the ink pads, so these are, I was going to say the new style ink pads, but they have now been around for quite a few years. And people I know say, oh, how do I open them? And it's very simple, she says, when she's been doing this for years. Think of it as a compact, so you can either flip it by pulling it up from the end there. Some people prefer to get two hands and just pinch at the top, but I can never get that to work, so I just end up flipping it like that. They come very juicy, so be careful. You don't need to be extra strong with them. You just need to tap or kiss. Some people say just kiss the ink pads with your stamp. If you're not sure, stamp on something. And these are photopolymer stamps, so that means that they don't have the additional foam like the cling mount stamps do. So it's always good to have something soft to stamp onto. So I have a foam mat underneath here. Stampin' Pierce mat, anything like that is great too. So that's my sentiment stamped. It's not as big as the other one, but that's okay. Close that and put it out the way. So I'm just going to add, now I'm going to add my first teacup. Now I'm going to use dimensionals for all these, and it's just a simple question of start with one and then just build it up. But what I would suggest you do is just simply lay them down first. So one, you kind of know which way you want to go. And also that you're not going to be, if you put this up too high, you're going to end up with a teacup that's maybe going off your card, and you don't necessarily want that, because obviously you want to be able to post this. I don't know, you can just give it to someone, I suppose, but you'll have to make an extra large envelope for this. So because we're tucking cups in at the top edge here. You don't want to be putting all your dimensionals, your foam pads up this end, simply because if you do that, then you're not going to be able to put the next cup in. So I would suggest that you simply just put it down a bit, not too close to the top. 3's more than enough. You don't need anything under the handle. Sadly, there's no actual cup of tea. And then you're just simply going to start with one that's cut is straight and then build it up. So the next one, you see now I can tuck that in, and I'm going to have that one going. You can have them going that way. You can really mess around with this, when I say mess, I mean play around with this as much as you want. So I think I'm going to have that one going that way still. And again, you want to be careful that you do not want to put dimensionals under that top bit again, because this one is going to be sitting inside it. So I'm just going to put one again down the bottom and 2 sort of in the middle. Now I want this to go kind of like that. And I need to leave the handle sticking out, because obviously when you normally put cups into one another, the handle doesn't disappear inside the cup. Oh, I don't know, maybe yours do. And then your last one, obviously you can just put the dimensionals wherever you would like to, because you don't have anything extra going inside. I'm going to have that one going that way this time. Maybe we're going quite so much. That's it, that's fine. So those are my 3 cups, and I'm going to just tuck this. Now again, I've put dimensionals there, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So because of that, I'm just going to move it down a bit. I want it tucked in underneath. Just tuck that in like so. So it's not going to be quite the same as the other card, but that's okay. As I said, it's a handmade card. They will be different. So then this is the piece that's going to go on the inside. And I'm just going to glue this piece on. And then make sure that I don't have too long. If I do, I'll just chop a bit off in a second. And then we're going to glue inside the card, this inside the card. Oops, that one's got one in because that was my original. So I'll put this on in here. Like so. Now that isn't straight, so it's just as well that is glue and not. Is that any better? Not much. It's better. I'm so glad that early espresso from earlier has dried. I know it's made a mess of my fingers, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Right, and then the last thing I need to do is to put some rhinestones on. And I think I'm actually going to stamp on my envelope too. So I've got my rhinestones. Find my way into a paper bag today as possible. Right, there we go, some rhinestones. And I actually used 3 different sizes, just because I could. And I think I'll do the same again. Maybe I'll just use large ones. I think I might go the other way. Oops. So take your pick tools, great, because you can just easily slide the rhinestones off. And then you can just simply just move them around with the pointy end. And then once you're happy, just push down. And then that's it, they're done. So there we go. So that's the second card. As I said, I'm going to stamp on the envelope. I've got Tahitian Tide, so I think that's what I'm going to use again, although I do have, oh yeah, this is Tahitian Tide. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this one. Move everything around on the blocks because I've got a block I can use. So this is nice because you can leave it with just the outline. So it's like a plain white cup with the outline, or you could colour in the actual, so I'm just going to put that on here, stamp that on here like that. Or you could, as I said, colour in. Trying to see if I've got anything that I can do with colouring with. Stella, that's always a good one. There we go. So if I use some Stella, now I want to be able to pick some ink up from the ink pad, but rather than just trying to take it off the pad itself, if you close your pad up and then where the hinge is, if you just kind of squeeze the ink pad, it should transfer some onto the lid, and then you can use an aqua painter, you can use all sorts of things. The Stella is nice because what it does is you can pick up the ink, and then when you paint it on, it gives a shimmer, because some of the glitter or whatever it is that's in there transfers too. You don't want to go too mad with it, simply because you don't want so much that it's kind of going all over the place. So just a little bit of ink. Like that. A little bit goes a long way. That might have been a bit over the top on that one. And then just pick it up from the lid, just a little bit, and colour in the shape. Like so. Right, and then just to clean the Stella brush, just simply scrap piece of paper, wipe it on that, and then all the colour will come out. So there's that's my finished card for this with the envelope, and hopefully you can see that there is a bit of a shimmer on it. Try and catch the light. So that's that. And then I've got a few other cards. So these are all kind of the made using the paper, and they're exactly the same design. It's just different papers on. So I'll just show you these. So these ones, that one was put on, something was shimmering then and I can't see now. That was actually put on shimmer paper, so it was just simple stamping onto shimmer paper and then colouring in like I have just done. So this is the Parakeet Party, so we've got 3 pieces of the paper, and I've put the little tea bag with a "It's Time for Tea" on. This is the Orchid Oasis, so this is more of a purple, and then I just tied the tea bag with a piece of white baker's twine. Starry Sky, that one I did slightly different because I had run out of paper, some of the paper, so I just cut them slightly different lengths and then just put the tea bag up there. And then we've got the sweet sorbet, and then we've got the Tahitian Tide. So these are just other ideas to use with the stamp set. They're very simple, quick to make, but there you go. So as I said, I will post photos of the card, this card, on Facebook together with the card from earlier. That will go up on Facebook with just some measurements to tell you what we used. I'll put these pictures of these up as well. So this is the cup of tea bundle, as I said. So if you would like to purchase those, great. I've just posted up on the Facebook page too the link to the buy one get one free sale, which started a little while ago. And so for every £1 you spend on retired products, you get £1 to spend on items from the new catalogue or from the January to June catalogue. So I hope you get a chance to go take a look at those. You can arrange for collection, or you can have it all delivered to you, so it's really up to you. So hopefully you'll find something on there that you would like, and then that will go towards the cost of the cup of tea bundle or anything else that you fancy from the new catalogue. If you are in need of a catalogue, then please send me an email to, and it's fiona@oakfieldcrafts.com. And obviously, if you'd let me have your address, then I can get one in the post to you. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Those of you who are on my weekly newsletter, I will get it out to you. And there'll also be links to these videos so that you can watch them. But any of you who are already on Facebook, these get posted to Facebook anyway, so you'll be able to find them there as well. And thank you for your time, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.